Welcome to the C programming tutorials. These tutorials will cover all you need to know about the C programming language. It is brought to you by Zeedup, and I am your instructor. I welcome you all to this course on the C programming language. This course is the one which would take you from a very beginner level in C and would take you to an advanced level where you would be able to understand everything about C and would be able to write programs for yourself. So first of all, let us start with this introduction video. The first question that must come to your mind is, what is C? A simple answer, it is a programming language. So for the beginners out there, what is a programming language is also a valid question. So a programming language is something that helps you to give instructions to the computer. C is a general purpose and a procedural programming language, and it is a very popular one even today. It is one of the most widely used programming languages, and the popularity of C is in the same scales as that of Java. So, if you are a software engineer or an aspiring software engineer, then learning C programming language is a must for you. Who developed C? C was developed by Dennis M. Ritchie in the year 1972 at a place known as the Bell Laboratories. You must have heard of an operating system called Unix. The main purpose behind developing C programming language was so that the Unix operating system could be developed. Thus, if you are trying to work on any of the operating systems such as Unix or Linux, then learning C is a must for you. Also, you must note one thing, that whenever you are trying to work on the professional front, most of the companies, most of the servers, most of the mainframes are actually working on the Linux operating system instead of the Windows and the Mac, which is widely used by a normal people. So, if you are trying to work in a company or work in a server, then learning C is a must for you. Why you should learn C? Well, that is a valid question, and I believe that I have told you something, that if you want to be a software engineer, if you want to work in companies, if you want to work in the Unix or the Linux operating system, then you need to learn C. But there are many other advantages, and the first one of them, it is easy to learn. C is a very fundamental programming knowledge or a language. It is very easy to learn C. It is just like going into the basics of programming. Apart from that, whatever syntax or whatever rules you need to follow for learning C, they are very clear. They do not change frequently, so you can just learn one thing and you can go on developing more and more and more of your knowledge based upon that rule only. Second thing, C is a structured language. Everything is structured. You got to provide every instruction in a proper structure. This gives you the confidence to work in a controlled environment. Also, it gives you the confidence that you can write the correct piece of code. If you want to practice something, then working from the basics is the best approach, and that is what exactly C offers. It produces efficient programs. Many of the programs and the softwares are developed in C, especially the ones that work on the Unix and the Linux operating systems. So if you are trying to produce the efficient programs that can perform every task correctly and efficiently, then C is what you should go for. It can handle the low-level activities. What are low-level activities? The activities that are very simple yet they require a great deal of thought are low-level activities, and all these activities can be easily handled by C. There is no concept of the classes and the objects in C. It is not a procedural language, but it is a low-level language. Means if you are trying to accumulate your data, then you can do that very easily in C, but you do not need to go into the depth of learning about classes and objects and all of these concepts as in the other programming languages. Easy compilation. C can be very easily compiled, and once it is compiled, it can be used almost everywhere. You just need to write a simple C program, and once you compile it, then you can use it again and again and again until you make some changes to it. It is a boon for software developers. I have already told you that, but that is another reason why you should go for C. Applications of C. Although C programming languages is used in a variety of places, initially it was used for system development work. Also it was taken because it is a very fast programming language. So there are a variety of places where C is used, like in the operating systems. So an operating system, you all must know, is a program that is the first one to fire itself up whenever your system is booted. Many of the components of the operating systems are written in the C programming language. Language compilers. Compilers are actually like translators. Suppose you are trying to interact with a person who knows French, but you do not know French. You only know English. The other person doesn't know English, so you hire a translator so that he could translate your English into French and vice versa. That translator in the computer terms is known as a compiler. There are different programming languages, and most of their compilers are written in the C programming language itself. The assemblers, the text editors like Notepad, Microsoft Word, WordPad, etc. are all written in the C programming language. Print spoolers, network drivers, the modern programs that constitute of mostly the Linux and the Unix systems are written in C. The various databases or the softwares or wherever these databases are stored, that is on the server, it all makes use of the C programming language. The language interpreters. The interpreters are same as the compilers, the only difference being the speed. Interpreter just translates everything in a line-by-line fashion, while compiler translates it, the whole program in one go. We would be learning about it later on, but that is the basic difference that you need to know. All the system utilities are also written in the C programming language. So, before starting this tutorial, what is the requirement? We require you to have a basic understanding of the computer. That is, how can you type something, how can you just work on a computer, all the basic stuff. Also, if you are having a basic knowledge of the programming languages, then also you would be benefited, but still, since this tutorial is for the beginners, I will teach you everything from scratch. Also, I would need a lot of curiosity from all of you so that you can go on this path of learning C programming language. So that is all for our introduction video, and I hope you all must have learned or at least have understood that why C is very important to learn. So I will meet you in the next video, in which we will be discussing about C and how can we actually use it to write the programs. We would be writing our very first program in C. So if you are familiar with some of the concepts of the programming languages, then you must know that the very first program that we write in any language is actually a hello world. So we would be writing our first hello world program in C in the next video, and we would also learn that how can we install a very simple IDE in which we can write our code for the C. So that is all for video, and thanks for watching.